being Zhao's best man. At my wedding, Zhao told the story of how we met 26 years ago when, as the older, bigger kid, he made me cry by yelling at me while making angry faces. Funny how some things never change. Back in the day, in 1990s Chicago, our Chinese immigrant families would play cards late into the night while Zhao and I and our other friend Jack would play Mario and Double Dragons on Nintendo. But by high school, we realized that Zhao was not like the other kids. He kept coming up with business ideas and reading about people like Genghis Khan and John Rockefeller and giving us guilt trips about why the hell weren't we doing more with our lives. When I was reading Maxim magazine, Zhao was reading Machiavelli. Now I'm finally reading Machiavelli and Zhao is marrying a former Maxim model. Anyway, when I was 16 and Zhao was 19, his parents were out of town and he decided to throw a big party at his house. At least 200 people came to this quiet suburban neighborhood, and it was a crazy time, but I also had a big college entrance exam the next day. The test started at 8 a.m., but Zhao woke me up at 8 and said, "Dude, you're late!" And he drove me there in 10 minutes when it normally takes 20. I managed to take my test and actually did well that day. That's when I knew Zhao had my back, despite being a bad influence. Right after college, Zhao was starting his first serious business venture. When he asked me whether he should quit his job at IBM, of course I said yes, even though everyone else said he was crazy. Starting businesses was all he ever talked about for many years, and I knew it was his only possible path in life. But unlike most people, Zhao actually took the jump and never looked back. We talked on the phone regularly during the company's ups and downs until finally it was sold to Zynga. Today, Zhao is known across Silicon Valley as a successful entrepreneur, angel investor, and cryptocurrency expert. His words cut straight to the truth, like a hot knife through butter. And he does not tolerate idiots, kind of like the Gordon Ramsay of tech startups. Which is why I think Wendy is the perfect partner for him. Wendy, from the moment I met you, I knew Zhao was in good hands. He is cold, calculating, and methodical, while you are warm, intuitive, and creative. You're the only person I've seen who can stand up to Zhao, even get him to admit he is wrong, on rare occasions. You have made him much smoother around the edges in areas like appearance, fitness, fashion, and manners. Recently, he's even showing signs of empathy and charm and other human-like behaviors. But there's always more polishing to be done, and similar to startups and cryptocurrencies, marriage will have its ups and downs. So if he ever gets too difficult, you can have him call me. For now, I'll turn to Zhao and offer some advice for a harmonious marriage. First, pick your battles carefully because there's no such thing as winning an argument. As a husband, to win is to simply avoid fighting at all. Secondly, try to be more diplomatic if you do disagree on something. In other words, don't just roll your eyes and say, "I disagree." Instead, try saying, "I can see your point, but I think it's more like so-and-so." This is actually general people advice, not just marriage related. Anyway, I'll wrap things up before you decide to beat me up again. As your best man and brother from another mother, I'm so happy to be here in Peru for your big day. I wish you both a long life together, filled with joy, abundance, and love, and beautiful children who are fluent in English, Spanish, and Chinese.